And it's there are always a couple of people who can tell you, yeah, but you didn't win. So now let's talk about six, baby. Let's talk about
Oh my God.
all the good things and the bad things that made me. Let's talk
Let's
about
talk about six.
Yes, we are back. Liverpool, everybody with my main man who's slowly but surely becoming just part of our channel in general. MAME, how you feeling, man? In one word.
Man,
One word.
great.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's so many words we can add to the feeling of what happened last night. And it's just a nice ending to a season that almost felt there were so many moments in this season, whether it be the Leicester versus City game, whether it be the first leg in the Barcelona. Obviously that company goal kind of making it pretty clear that we weren't going to get that title that we just so long cherished, so close, unless there was some crazy thing that happened on the last day. So for us to bounce back against Barcelona at home, and of course to go ahead and get the six, it just feels amazing, man. We'll start from where we usually start from, and that's the lineup.
Yep.
Sure, that was a lineup that most of us saw coming. So are you like most of us? You thought that would probably be that.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I even predicted that lineup, I knew he was going to go with those players, you
Hmm.
know, and fortunately he did.
Hmm.
And yeah, for me, it was quite, yeah, we'll talk about the game later.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think that's the line. I think for both teams, the number nine was the kind of question mark, and not only question mark, but just because the added weeks that it took for this game to start. So you can imagine, in our case, Firmino probably a little bit rusty. In their case, Harry Kleincourt a little rusty. So I was a bit surprised that here's the thing. I'm happy that Pochettino didn't start Mora because I think that could have caused us more trouble. Um, but a guy who scores a hat trick for you with his off leg, left-footed, doesn't get a starting role in a Champions League final to me is really really crazy. And we talked about it on Half Hope's channel last night. I think a lot of it goes to the idea that this, Harry Kane being this English golden boy, whatever, on this big stage, he had to start. There's no surprise he was going to start, but I just feel like they could have put up gave us a different look, something else to worry about in that game. Glad they didn't again, but because for me, I just feel like that was probably one of the easier games for Matip and Van Dijk that they ever will have ever.
Yeah,
Um,
true. But in my opinion, Harry Kane should have played and Mura should have played. You know, I think Dele Ali could have waited. Dele Ali
Maybe,
could have
yeah,
been on the bench.
yeah,
He was he
quiet.
people talk about
I forgot
Kane,
he was
right?
on the field. I forgot he was on the field, man.
Exactly. People were talking about Kane, but Dele Ali was worse than all the players on the pitch. I'm sorry.
Oh, no question, no question.
He
It was
was
fun.
useless.
It's funny because I thought, to be fair, Ellie had a really, really nice coming out season. I guess season before last. I don't know when it was, but that one season, people were like, "Oh wow!" And even some Liverpool fans were saying, "Damn, been great if we could have gotten him." Over the past couple of seasons, he just hasn't really reached those levels, and I thought it was a bit. Some of the criticism was harsh, and then I saw in the Champions League match when they played Ajax, he was a big part of that
Yeah,
comeback.
he did well at
He was
Ajax.
a
He did
big
well at
part of that
Ajax.
comeback, from what I saw. But yes, on the big stage yesterday, he was probably one of their, if not their weakest links. So yeah, somehow I feel like and we're gonna talk about Liverpool, of course, but somehow I feel like Pochettino should have made way for more. You got to put Son in there, you got to put Ericsson in there, and Kane is going to start. I mean, let's be real, Kane's going to
Yeah,
start. But
exactly.
something should have happened to where more played in that game because that's just a joke. That's a joke. You can't. The guy who gets you into your first final in Champions League history, he doesn't start. That makes no sense to me. So,
Yeah,
um,
and for me, I can't really blame Poch for playing a Kane, because obviously at any moment he could just have a spark. He gives the team some hope to score and everything. So you cannot just put him on the bench like that. And even in the second half, well, he was better. He was better in the second half at some points. You know, you
yeah,
could feel that something could have maybe happened. You
I
know.
still feel like I'm not gonna say I feel bad for Poach, but I feel like he had some pressure from somewhere else. You know what I mean? Because this guy
Exactly.
hasn't played for quite a long time. Let's remember, and they've been arguably better without this dude. So to have him play a whole 90 to me is just a bit strange. You got to figure out something different. You had all these weeks to plan it. I know Kane wants to play, but this could be your first and last opportunity with this team here. Probably
Yeah,
will be. They're not going back to a Champions League final. So you
yeah,
got to
yeah,
put out your best. I don't know. It is what again. I'm happy that he did have that mistake because I don't even call it a mistake. I just think no matter. I think if more would have started, I still think we would have beat them. I'm just saying if I'm stepping out of my Liverpool fandom and I'm a Spurs fan, I'm thinking, look, we could have done some things differently, and maybe that would have made a difference. Either way, it is what it is. Let's go into the quote unquote controversy, Mame, the handball.
yep.
Let's talk about the handball because people now want to say Liverpool is so lucky we paid the refs. Da 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 da. Listen,
Yeah, because
go ahead.
because it was not the team. That's it.
Exactly,
This was a
exactly.
pen, man. I
Exactly.
don't even want to talk about it. If you don't give a pen, I don't know what you're gonna give, man. Come on, let's be serious.
I know it's and that's fine. I almost get joy out of people trying to make excuses when Liverpool do well. Like, oh, they got lucky. Oh, they paid their. Listen, it is what it is. I mean, I was shocked to say. I'll say this. Usually, but depending on who the ref is, usually refs won't call things that early. They usually don't. I don't remember the last time in the game there's been a penalty like that or any big red card or whatever in the first what minute, if that first minute of the game. So that was shocking. And then when they went to VAR, I just thought, they might not give it because it hit his chest. But what Sissoko did wrong was extend his hand unnecessarily, his arm unnecessarily like that. That's what got him in trouble. If it was
Exactly.
just a chest
And
thing,
his hand
if his
was
hand was
there.
by his
His
side,
hand was
yeah,
there.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
His hand was there before Mane took the to made the cross. You know. So it's not like I don't know if it was deliberate from Mane or not, but his hand was just there, and you a ref, something like that, Champions League final, you have
Yep,
to call it.
yep. Good point. Yeah, good point. Good
You
point.
have
Good
to.
point. It is a final. You got to make those calls. So and again, people act like they forget that a guy named Divock Origi also had a goal. So it wasn't like that was the reason why we won. People talk about momentum and all that, but look, it is what it is. We get to go early. Salah, of course, good for him. No messing about with that shot, hard, low, and I think the keeper had a chance to stop it, but he just didn't do that. And so that was a good way to start the game. You can't get any better start in the Champions League final in a game like that. And I think from that point on, slightly in that first half, it was a little bit cagey. I mean, I think overall the game wasn't as exciting as people would have thought. But do you think I care about that? No, I don't. I was just happy we won the
No,
game.
who cares, man? And yeah, and it's not our
Oh,
fault
exactly,
that the game was
exactly,
like that. I think it
exactly,
was Tottenham's
exactly.
fault because when you score that early in the Champions League final, what do you do? What do you do if you Liverpool? If I'm Liverpool, I go Mourinho, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
go like
People,
Mourinho.
people have been
You
saying that
know,
all over social media. They've been saying that he's kind of borrowed a page out of Mourinho's book of just like, look,
and
we
and,
just scored a goal against
and
Tottenham Hotspur. Go ahead.
and even not that, Tottenham were really good tactically because if you see that midfield, the midfield was very tight. You know, because there were like three players, two triangles from both teams, and they were just sticking to each other. You know, so there was not some space. That's why you saw we were playing long balls and they were playing long balls.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for the most part of the first half. You
And
know, so it was quite hard.
yeah, and Thompson says the match was weird. Definitely, as you said, who cares? We need a trophy. Yeah, I mean, I think it's two Premier League teams, and it definitely felt like a Premier League match to me. A match where two teams are respecting each other. They don't want to maybe give too much away, but I think at the end of the day, I think Klopp really surprised me in this game with his subs, and I think I want to get your opinion on the subs as early as they were and the players that were subbed off. What do you think was behind that? Do you think it was more of a Klopp saying, "Look, let's just set up shop. Let's be smart. Let's not allow them to get any openings," which we did pretty well at doing. There were moments where I thought, man, if that guy gets the ball to Son, it could be a goal, and then Hendo would step up or Matip would step up, and I was like, man, these dudes are just so in sync defensively. Like they're not going to concede today. And then our goalkeeper,
Yeah.
man, I mean, what a difference it makes, and that's why you spend the money on this dude. There were guys saying that's too much money. He's not going to be that well. He just had one good season with Roma, but Klopp and this team saw something in that keeper and they said, you know what, this is our due. We'll spend whatever it is. This is our due. And they gambled, if you want to call it that, but they were right. But just talk to me about the defensive mentality and the way we because I mean, is it just me or did you? There was no point in that game that I felt like Spurs were going to score. I mean, towards the end, they had some shots, and I think Allison really, really helped us out, as I just spoke about the
Yeah,
goalkeeper.
yeah.
But did you ever feel like really that worried about Spurs scoring? I know I didn't.
Throughout the whole game, no, except one point. I think when Danny Rose had that free kick at the edge of at the corner of
Yes,
the box.
yes, yes. I was watching
I
with my
think
wife,
that
and I was
was
like,
the only
this was a
moment
little
where I was scared. You
nervy.
know,
Yeah. That one, that you're right
throughout
about
all the
that one.
game, I couldn't see how they would score. I couldn't see it. You know,
Yeah, they just didn't
because
seem threatening, man.
first of all, you have to pass the midfield.
Right,
So they were
exactly.
playing long balls. Then you
Yeah,
have to pass Matip
exactly,
and Van Dijk.
exactly.
And Allison didn't show up because there was nothing in the
Yep.
first half. And when it was time to show up, he was there. He was right there.
Yep. I mean, people been saying it's not an original or unique thought anymore, but Matip has been. I mean, to me, it almost seems like a disservice to call him an unsung hero. I mean, he's been amazing in this last part of the season and in the Champions League. And I've said it in my preview, and some people might have raised their eyebrows, but he's been at least or even slightly better over these past few weeks than Van Dijk. My opinion.
I
And
think I think performance wise he was better. But something you gotta see is that if you remove Van Dijk and you put another player,
surely,
it would
surely,
be
surely,
different than if
surely.
you left Van Dijk and put another player than Matip.
Yes, and that's
That's
that.
why.
I totally agree, and I think everything goes back to um, Van Dyke and just who he is as a player, man. Somehow
Exactly.
he's been able to just
Exactly.
him and the keeper have been able to just instill this kind of calmness. Of course, throughout the season, there's been moments where even he has been kind of giving me some nervy moments, but in general, overall, he's really really helped, and that's why I think and we could get to it later if you want to. I don't really care too much about individual awards, but I think you got to put Van Dyke in the conversation of that Ballon d'Or. You have to. You have to do that.
No, of course.
The difference he's made in the team almost single handedly. You have to put him in the running. Top three, top four, something.
Yeah, I wanted to get to that at some point because
Yeah.
I think I heard you saying giving your Ballon d'Or opinion, and you put Sterling over Mane, and I wanted to ask you why.
Oh, sure, yeah. No, well, let's talk about that now. So, I think for me, if I had it my way, I'd have I'd have the top three players Liverpool because I think you can
Hmm.
pick at least three dudes from the Liverpool team. So that was me just being more um, non-biased, I guess. Yes, I think for Sterling, I think he's had back-to-back amazing seasons. Mane has been great this year. I think Sterling has been the more consistent dude over the last couple seasons. And I know we're talking about just 1 year with the Ballon d'Ors being judged,
Hmm.
but in my mind, just when I look at football, I'm thinking Sterling has had the most you know, back-to-back consistent seasons. But yeah, I mean, I think definitely Mane is in the conversation. Mane is definitely in the conversation at some point. But yeah, again, I think you can look at that Liverpool team and you really really think about what it means as far as best players. You can have at least two or three in the running, and hopefully that'll happen. So yeah,
Yeah, because we talk about Van Dijk, Mane, and stuff, but what about Trent and Robertson? You know,
exactly,
because
exactly.
Robertson today, he's I don't care. He's the top left back in the world, and
No one can debate that. No one can debate that.
exactly, and when you talk about Trent, he's maybe not top because he's still young, and but you have to put him in the top five. You
Yeah.
have to put him in the top five. You know.
Let me, let me bring this up real quick. Thompson says he thought Fabinho and Genie had a bad game. I thought Fabinho was good.
No,
Genie,
Fabinho was okay.
yeah,
Genie was
Genie
a
wasn't
good.
great. Yeah, Genie wasn't great. Genie wasn't great.
Yeah,
And I,
that's why he went out actually.
yeah, that's exactly why he went out. And I'm, but see, here's the thing: to see him jumping on Klopp's back afterwards, I love that we have players that aren't going to throw a fit and start whining and like he knew he wasn't playing well, so you got to come off. As simple as that.
Yeah, and
Genie did not have a good game by anybody's standards. He just didn't have a good game, and that's what Klopp will do. That you're not
yeah,
playing well, I'm gonna get you off.
and just see, Genie is a midfield player. Defensively he's good,
Hmm.
but when it's about offensively and distributing the ball, he kind of needs some space, and he had no space yesterday.
And that's why that Barcelona thing was such a. I mean, that's just pure. Um, I don't know. Genie really pulled something out of the bag in that Barcelona game because no one would have imagined him having that kind of impact. But you know that's not something that you're going to see on a regular. It's just not. And he's had some, even before the Barcelona, he's had some goals this season that you think, wait, what?
Yeah,
I forget who we were playing against where he kind of just like poked it over the keeper, and I thought that was going over the bar. It goes in. Genie just
yeah,
has these moments where you know what he's going to give you, and that's just putting his backside on people, keeping the ball, recycling the ball. He's not a prolific goal. He's never been a prolific goal scorer with Liverpool. Now, before that in his career, maybe, but with us, we're going to get from Genie, and that's usually a 7 out of 10, if not more. But
exactly.
it's a quiet 7 out of 10. He's not doing many things that are flashy. So when he gets the goals, you think, wow. But yesterday was a game where he looked like he did much of last season, where he would kind of just fade away, like you forget he was on the field. And I
Yeah,
say that with the as much respect as I can. I love Genie, but there are some times where he goes missing. And yesterday he wasn't there. But again, I love the fact that guys like Shaqiri, Sturridge, none of those guys had a part to play in this game, and they all were so excited for each other, for themselves.
but look at
They
look at Moreno, man.
Oh
I
yeah,
even
him too.
forgot
Well,
about
Moreno's
him.
a crazy. He's a crazy dude anyway. But yeah, Moreno's just happy to be a part of the party. No, I mean for sure. But you had pictures of Sturridge doing his dance next to the trophy, and
Exactly,
I mean
exactly.
you just love
Wow.
seeing this togetherness with this group, and most of the players said that after the game, whether it be Robertson, Hendo, there's a camaraderie in this team, and I've spoken about it on this channel several times that it's just a beautiful thing to see this team come together, and like I said, this is just one step, man. It's going to be scary to see what Liverpool can do um in the world of football and in the seasons to come. Um, Divock Origi came on, looked a bit sloppy to me. Some of the first touches he was making, but it is what it is. He gets his goal, and again, say what you want about Divock Origi, he keeps scoring. He keeps
Yeah,
scoring, man.
yeah. Because yesterday I was so mad at him because he was so wasteful. I think
Yeah,
he
he didn't look good at
was
all, man. I was
awful,
like, what are you doing, bro? Killing me.
you know.
Yeah,
But
but
when
when
he scored, I was like,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, this
and that's what it's
this this is
about.
karma.
That's what it's
Hmm.
about. He had, Harry Kane had a moment or two. He didn't take his chances. Origi got and was almost like when the ball dropped to Origi, he was saying, "Okay, this is it. This one I'm going to put away," and he did just
Finally,
that. And he did just that. And so, again, man, Origi's one of those dudes where we're going to have a conversation right now just on. I'd love him to stay. I think I think we're gonna talk about Firmino as well because we got to really talk about him in finals. But Origi, I love him to stay. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier, a fellow Liverpool fan here, and I was saying that if I was him and I got another offer from a team that would offer me more playing time, I'd probably take it. He's still young, but I just wonder how much longer can he just be that kind of energy
yeah,
off the bench? You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on Origi? You think he'll stay? Would you want him to stay? And if he does stay, do you think it limits our wants of getting people in the window? Other
Ac-
forward players in the window?
Actually, I think he can stay because if you look at it, yesterday that early sub
Hmm.
when he came in for Firmino, I think before it would have never happened. Before he did what he did at Barcelona and stuff, he would have never happened. Klopp
Hmm.
would probably wait more, give more time to Firmino, you
Right.
know.
Right.
But now, yesterday he was like, okay, I trust him more
Hmm.
now, so he can play. He showed us he could make a difference, so he can play very early. And for Origi getting this kind of time, playing early and sometimes just being in the rotations, resting Mane or Salah or Firmino and let him play, I think he can stay. Obviously, if he wants more, if he want to be a regular starter, he has to go because I don't think he would be a regular starter here.
Yeah. I agree with that. I definitely want him to stay. I just think this season alone, he's going to go down as a very very important Liverpool player just in the history of Liverpool football. There's so many things he did in the season, whether it be Newcastle, Everton, Barcelona. I
Yeah.
mean, you name it. He just kept on popping up when we really needed him, and that's big. That's big. And so, especially being a guy that's kind of that role player off the bench, So I love him to stay, but I think it's kind of still up in the air. Hopefully, he signs and he stays with us. But whatever he does, man, I'll always appreciate Divock Origi for what he's done with this club, particularly this season. Bobby, um, now I know he's been out for a while, so I get it. But the fact remains, Bobby has. I can't remember when Bobby's ever done well in a final for us, whether it be last year in Kiev, obviously this season. I believe did he play in the Champions League? I'm sorry, I mean not Champions League, Europa League final against Sevilla. Can't
Against
remember.
Sevilla.
I know Sturridge started, but I can't remember if Firmino was one of the forward players or not. Anyway, I'll look into that at some point. If someone knows that's here with us, let us know in the comment section. But he doesn't really do much for me in finals. And I'm starting to wonder. And this season he wasn't fantastic. Now I love Bobby, and I think what he does for us is amazing. But I'm starting to wonder if Klopp. I think I kind of know the answer because Klopp loves him so much, and I see why. But I'm starting to wonder if we should have that kind of if I can compare it to like what's the forward guy in City, the two forward guys, Aguero and
Aguero.
like their situation at points of last season where Pep was like, should I go with Jesus? Should I go with Aguero? But I have
Aguero.
two really top forward dudes. So I don't know. I just feel like there needs to be someone else that can put some pressure on Firmino from starting game to game.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I think you're
that
right.
also can offer that pressing that he does, which is and it's the only thing that's going to keep Firmino on this team is that Klopp knows he's going to work his ass off as that kind of that first defensive point of the team. So just talk to me about what you think. Am I being too harsh on Firmino? Or do you think we should get a guy who can do those similar things, maybe even better?
Yeah, of course, I always thought we should get a player, but for me, as I see how Klopp works, he wants versatile player. He does.
Right.
He doesn't just want to replace Bobby. He wants someone he can play for Bobby, he can play for Mane, and who can play for Salah, and that's really hard to have. You know,
Yeah.
that's the huge problem. But yeah, of course, we should get someone else. Bobby is
Mhm.
good. Bobby is really good, but
Mhm.
especially this season, I don't think he's been that good. I mean, at the level
Yeah.
that I expect him to play, he wasn't there, but he was still there. And Bobby is the kind of player, he gives so much that when he starts getting tired,
Mhm.
you just see it. You see it right away.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
He's always seemed a bit heavy to me too, and I don't know if that's just how the uniform looks on him, but he doesn't look to be as chiseled and cut up as you know even Salah and Mane. But I don't want to nitpick on. I feel like I might be slightly petty on him right now. I love Bobby. I think we all do. As the song says that they sing, we all love Bobby. But I do feel like there does need to be someone who can at least f- let him feel like, okay, damn, there's someone else who's on my level who does the same thing I do. That we're fighting for that position, every weekend or weekday, Champions League, things of that nature. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really hard, Mame, to really see where we need upgrades. I mean, obviously, we can talk about the left back. Robinson can't play forever, every single game, every single season. Milner's not going to play forever to be that kind of cover for that. So, of course, Klopp is going to have to look at certain things. And we said it. We didn't want to talk too much about transfers during this run to the final. But now that it's over, I'm getting excited about transfers again, and I'm starting to open up these emails or open up these messages from people that have sent me stuff that I was trying to ignore, and looking at these different YouTube clips because I didn't want to hear all that. But now I'm like, okay, now who can we get? So just tell
Yeah.
me, like, when you think of the squad front to back, tell me what you think that we're good at and we don't need anything, and tell me where you think that we could use maybe some reinforcements.
Yeah, because as a football fan, for me, there's two ways to upgrade a team. You know, it's quality and quantity. You know, right now
Yeah.
we have the quality. Because if I had to remove one player and bring another one in the for the regular players, I wouldn't know exactly who.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
but now the problem is we need to have that that depth in the squad. We need more players, more quantity, so that we can play a whole season and maintain the same level anytime, and also compete in other competitions, in all the competitions the same way, whether it's the FA Cup, whether it's that bullshit cup, Carabao Cup, you
Hmm.
know, Champions League and Premier League. That's what we need. We need to add some other players, just
Yeah.
like City did. You know, we don't need expensive players. We don't need big names. We just need efficient players. You know, you won't need them for the whole season.
Hmm.
You know, but maybe around 10 games maximum in the season.
Right. But I mean, is there a particular part of the pitch that you think really needs that, as opposed to maybe other parts?
Of course,
Midfield, attacking.
that left back position.
Okay.
You know, probably get someone who can play up, one or two people who can play up front. I think well, if Origi stays and that kid Brewster is going to get promoted,
Mm, mm,
maybe we need only one other player. You
mhm.
know, we
I
can.
think that's about right. Yeah, just I think maybe one other dude I think is just good enough.
Yeah,
Especially if we're keeping Shaqiri. I think one other guy should be just enough. The midfield, do you think it's too packed now? Do you think we could stand maybe getting that quote unquote everyone says the Coutinho esque player? There's talks about Fakir now again. Just what do you think
listen,
the midfield? Do you think midfield we could use maybe one or two guys, especially if
I
Lallana's
think
leaving? I guess.
midfield. Wow, the midfield. What do you want to add in the midfield now? Because the thing is, you're gonna get a Coutinho-esque player. When is he going to play?
Right, right,
That's the
right.
problem. Because Klopp, why his system works is that there's that body on the midfield.
Yeah, yeah.
That creativity, he doesn't need it from the midfield. He has it on the wing backs. He can play long, you know, and he
See,
has
see,
Bobby. He can do his stuff.
but see,
You don't need that number 10.
this is my thing in the midfield. I think I just asked you that question, and myself, I was thinking it's a pretty crowded midfield, but we don't know how injury prone Ox is going to be from now on. I don't know. I speak for myself. I don't know how much injury prone he's going to be. So if I'm
That,
thinking,
that,
I'm thinking
that
Klopp's
is
got to be
true.
thinking that as well. Naby should be good. I don't think he's had too many injury issues in his career. Henderson, he's got his foot issue. So I think we got to be careful and got to be safe, and we can't just bank on what happened for like similar to our center backs this season. You know, through the grace of God, through some magical whatever, Matip stayed fit for the rest of the season. That is still blowing my mind. Not only did he stay fit, but he played at a really high level. So can we really bank on that though? You know what I mean? So in the midfield, I think Klopp's got to be smart on, especially if Lallana's going. I don't know much about what's going on with Milner. He's been pretty quiet about that, unless there's something that's happening that I didn't know, a new contract or whatever. But those two dudes, we got to be careful of who, if one of them are leaving or both of them are leaving or what.
I, 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 I think they gave a contract to Milner
They did okay,
and
okay,
Origi.
okay. So then that's Milner. Let's look at our midfield: Milner, Hendo, Ox, Naby, Genie. Who am I missing? Anybody?
Fabinho.
Oh, Fabinho. Right. How could I forget that? That's six midfielders. Um, and I think you can say two of them. I mean, I think if Fabinho can't play in that six, I think you put Genie there. When seeing what Henderson has done in the second part of the last few weeks, playing that more attacking role, you got to believe that's where Klopp is going to keep him at permanently now. I don't see why he would
Yeah,
put him back in the six.
permanently. But you know, he always has the possibility to play at six. He's not great at it, but if we really
True.
need it and there's nobody else, he can do it. So that's versatility that we need there.
Yeah,
You
yeah. And like
know.
you said, Klopp at once, but would prefer a guy that can play two or three positions, and I
Yeah.
love that about him.
And let me tell something to the Liverpool fans who wants Fekir. Fekir is not a Liverpool player. Physically, he cannot make it. I don't know if you watch the French league. Fekir doesn't finish a game.
Bro,
He cannot play for a whole game. It's not possible.
I'm so happy to hear somebody say that because I think for a lot of us, or even some of the listeners here, it's very much so focused on Premier League, and we might see clips on YouTube, or obviously we saw probably small glimpses of Fekir in the World Cup. I think he was a bit hurt, but he's not that kind of guy. He's not the kind
He's
of dude that
not.
can play in this team.
He's not. If you watch football and you think Fekir is good, you can take him.
He
Go
is good.
look
He's
at
definitely good,
Houssem
but he's not.
Aouar.
Yeah,
Houssem Aouar, who's in Lyon. He's younger than
I prefer
Fekir.
him. I prefer
He's
him.
better.
Yeah.
And yeah, you'd go for him. or you
sure.
can go for Ziyech or something like that, and
Hmm.
other players in the French league that you don't know because it's a farmers league. But I watch
Right.
the French league like every single weekend,
Hmm.
and Fekir is not a good option. I know Klopp wanted him. The problem we had with Coutinho is that Coutinho was a midfield player, but he wasn't defending.
Right. Right.
You know, defensively he was poor, and that's what happened in Barcelona.
Hmm.
That's the
It,
same
al-
thing.
it almost felt like that was a blessing in disguise for Klopp because I'm not in his mind, but I think he probably was already kind of trying to consider. I could be totally wrong. I think he was already thinking two steps ahead of what life could be without him because he could find another guy that could play a role that suited more of what Klopp thought this team should be playing like. And so it was one of the probably and I said it when it happened. It's probably one of the best things that could have happened to this team. And
Yeah,
we, if nothing, we've looked, definitely better without him. But since we're talking about players, Nicholas Pepe, are you impressed? I think we spoke about him before.
yeah.
There's been
Pepe,
a lot
Pepe
of lots of talk about him lately, of last few days, last few hours actually, about him
he's,
coming to Liverpool. So is that a guy you would gladly take?
he's really good. He's really good. I would gladly take him, of course. I
Mhm.
don't know if he can accept to be a rotation player
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point of his career because he's having a very good career and he's probably picking quite soon.
Hmm.
And yeah, he's the next best thing in African football. I think he
I
can reach
yeah.
that level of those other players. But the problem is, of course, he might accept to be a rotation player for the beginning because he doesn't know the Premier League, coming from the
Right.
French league.
And I think that's what Klopp would have in his
Premier
in
League.
his favor. I think that's what Klopp would have to tell him. Like, look, I'm just gonna same thing he did with Fab, same thing he done with Naby, kind of ease them in. And once they get it, it's like okay, because the best thing for Klopp to do is have, or the best situation for Klopp is to have issues with picking a starting 11. That's a good problem to have to me. And I think if you
Yeah,
can get in there and battle it out with Salah, battle out with Mane, you never know who's going to play, and, that's the whole thing about a big squad. Yes, our squad was slightly better, bigger, stronger. You felt more comfortable with it going to a Champions League final, but let's be real, it probably can improve that bit more. So if the stronger our squad is, the better. It's not our job as fans to worry about who's going to play, how they're going to play, are they going to be disgruntled. I think with that the manager that we have, he seems to be such a great man manager, and I think with any issues in the dressing room, especially having personalities like Milner, Hendo, I don't think that's something that we really need to worry too much about. I can't see that happen. I can't see someone
yeah,
coming in and causing an issue in the camp. So, um, but yeah, I think again, I think the midfield could probably stand to see at least one player. I think every level could see something. We could see a left back for sure. I don't really think we need a center back, Mom. I don't know how you feel about that. And if we do, definitely
yeah,
not a big name. Maybe just some guy that can, maybe a veteran kind of dude that's been around for a while. I don't know who's out there money wise. I know the guy from Atletico Madrid. I don't know if I've heard rumors of him leaving. I don't know where he's going, or even if we're even interested in him. But a guy of that caliber, maybe that's been around for a while, experienced, played on the European stage, doing well in this country, respectfully. So, uh, but for me, I think left back for sure. Some sort of midfield player, and maybe one attacking dude. But other than that, man, I think we looking pretty good for going into next. And then you got to remember, most of our guys are playing a lot of football this summer, so people will definitely be coming back banged up, tired, fatigued, and all that. So, so it'd be interesting to see the reinforcements that we get this season.
yeah. I don't really worry about that because I think club is so smart in his acquisition. Like he buys a player because he needs him. He doesn't buy him because he think he might need him. He buys him because he know he needs the player. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
like he does everything with so much confidence, so much.
yeah. But he's
I
meticulous
think
too, though.
there's some stuff as fans we cannot know, man. You have to be inside the club
Oh
to.
yeah, 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 yeah. And I love that Klopp is so kind of
Yeah. So
tight lipped
sometimes
about it.
just talking about yes, we need this, we need that. Well,
Mhm.
it doesn't make that much sense, man. You know.
Yeah, I do think we'll be. I have a feeling we'll be seeing something very soon. Definitely before the month is out. Where that is, I don't know, but I got to believe that Champions League is over. They kind of get a chance to get together and say, like, look, we know what we need. We know what we have. We're looking pretty good, but let's just make these few different changes and it'll be good. Thompson brought up a guy earlier. Bruno Fernandes from oh god, what team is that? I want to say Sporting Lisbon, maybe. Do you know much about him? Midfield player, I believe he is.
Yeah. He's excellent. He's really good. He's
Yeah,
really good.
they,
Midfielder who scores goals. Very good in taking spot kicks and everything. He's
yeah.
really good.
And
He's really
apparently, he
good.
just I
But
picked
I
up
thought
something
he
on
was.
social media. He said something about he preferred to go to Liverpool, which again, you take
Oh
all that
yeah.
stuff with a grain of yeah. I can send you the
I
thing
thought
on.
Man United or City wanted him
Well,
or
yeah.
something like that.
They do, but he was saying that if he had to pick, and again, I always take these things with a grain of salt because the translation and stuff. I don't know if people are trying to just get Liverpool fans going, but what I did see was that he would prefer to come to Liverpool over any of the other Premier League suitors. So maybe that's something, maybe it's nothing, but again, I do expect us to see something, maybe really quiet, maybe something surprising like Fabinho last
Listen,
season.
listen. If you like right now, if you asked any player where he would want to go in the Premier League, he would say Liverpool.
Yeah, and that's the thing, especially getting this trophy. Like, let's be real, man. Who would not want to come to Liverpool? Now,
Exactly.
now, now, here's the other thing. You got teams like United who are offering Rabiot ridiculous amount of money that he'll probably come because the money is good. And again, I don't want to make this about. I don't need to really talk about United because they're so low. I'm not going to kick a man while he's down. But you know, if you see a player going to United, you got to really question their mentality of life and their mentality of improving themselves as a football player because United are going to be bad for quite a while. They are. So you're going to United, you're going
Yep.
there for the money. You're
Yep.
not going there to win anything. and no one can tell me anything different. You're not going to United to win. There's no manager that is your happy. There's no Marino. There's no, Zidane. It's Ali, and no one's going there for him. They're going there for the money. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
as far as the English league is concerned, sure, City's going to get people. City's an attractive place to go. You got Pep. You got so much.
Yeah,
You're going to get
but the
paid well
problem
and all that.
the
Go ahead.
problem with City is that when you go there, you know you're not gonna play because there's already two or three players at your position.
Yeah, okay. So you got to remember, they might. We talked about oh god, what's the guy you brought up from Leon that's better than Fakir?
Awa.
So and Double A, they might get him to replace Fernandinho. He's going to play. If they get him, he's going to play. If
Yeah.
if
Of
if if
course.
the striker leaves, we don't know how Jesus is going to feel about that. So they got some positions that Vincent Company's going to be gone. They got some positions that people can fill. But I hear what you mean. I
Yeah,
hear what you mean. They're so stacked that there's no guarantee that you'll be playing. I guess is what you're trying to say.
exactly. There's always those two positions where they need reinforcement, like the defensive midfield and I think the left back position. But other than that, they have too many players. You know,
Yeah, you're
like
right.
look at Mahrez. Mahrez went there. Mahrez season was
Right.
whack, man. He didn't play.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it comes back. It comes
You
back to.
know.
I feel like some of
So
these guys are
yeah,
like.
but anyway, about Liverpool, man.
Mhm. Yeah. We.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
just.
no, go on.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing who we get. And the transfer now because now I can fully put my feelings and thoughts into that. When is AFCON? Is it the 21st of this month? 22nd of
22nd.
this month. Okay. Yeah, hopefully we can get on and talk about that. We can break it down the groups and all that, and then get into some of the prospects because that's going to be a competition that I know most people are probably going to be focused on the European competitions, and I think there's a Copa America, whatever. But the AFCON is such a, in my opinion, clearly you know about this, but it's such a, in my opinion, a very underrated competition when it happens. And there's so many diamonds in
And
this
and
competition, man.
and it's the toughest competition to win. You bring Brazil or France or anything in AFCON, they wouldn't
Oh,
win it
please,
because AFCON
please,
it's
man.
only physical.
Yep.
Those people live their
Not
lives on the
only that,
field.
we talk about stadiums like, and people might laugh at this, but we talk about Anfield and all these tight, stadiums and Africa, man. These teams really. Now I know it's in Egypt. I don't know too much about Egypt, so I'm not gonna act like I do. But still, the fans there. The football means so much to them. You know, as
Yeah,
opposed
yeah.
to the UK and Europe. I mean, it means a lot, and sometimes life or death. So, um, yeah, it's going to be a tight competition, and I hope the guys listening will be tuning in. But if not, we're definitely going to be talking about it on this channel. So stay tuned for that. But
Yeah, great.
but yeah, a lot of good teams. No, let's talk about that before we get off. I know Senegal is who you back. Besides Senegal, do you see anybody else that you can consider favorites in
Oh,
this competition?
yeah. Of course, Egypt, the home nation, every time
Okay.
they organize it, before, especially before, they would just steal the trophy, man. You know,
All
there's
right.
so much corruption in that stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
When
yeah.
when there's an AFCON in Egypt, you know they're gonna win. You know because there would
Oh,
be
really?
a penalty or something like that. Anything can happen. But
Damn.
now it changed a lot. Plus, there will be the VAR. You
Hmm.
know, it doesn't
Oh, really? Is
guarantee.
it
Yeah,
VAR?
yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
think from when we finish the group stage, and beside Egypt, there's Morocco. Morocco is really good. You know,
Hmm.
with Hervé Renard, he won two AFCONs with two different countries, Zambia and Ivory Coast.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think those three teams are the best. Those three teams are the best. And there's Ivory Coast, who's coming back because they
They've been
have
off for a while. They've been off for a while, but I think
yeah
they could definitely
yeah
Zaha and
but now they have Zaha and Pepe in the
yeah,
same
Pepe.
team. The
Yeah, yeah,
defense
yeah.
is
Yeah,
really good.
they could be a threat. I thought over the recent years, just watching African football, I thought Congo was starting to look a little bit better, but then they kept falling off. I don't think what's Matt what did Matt used to play with damn
Cameroon.
Cameroon, they're the defending champions, right?
Yeah, but they had the worst AFCON last year.
They did. That was
They
really
beat
bad, man.
Senegal in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, that was bad.
They didn't play, but they won. I think it was the worst generation. It was the worst Cameroon team I've ever seen. And even the AFCON last year wasn't a very good level. We were lacking big African players. There was only Mane, Salah, and probably those Idrissa Gana Gay and all those stuff. But now it changed. A lot of players matured,
Mhm.
and they took it to another level.
Yeah, this is
No.
going to be exciting, AFCON. But see, I didn't know that much about the Egypt thing, and that's going to be a different political situation. But all things fair, I think you got to say Senegal is probably the favorite, the hottest team. And of course, Big Money.
On paper,
Yeah,
yes. On
yeah,
paper, yes. I think we have Koulibaly in the defense. We have
yeah, yeah,
Ghana in the midfield, and you have Mane up front with Ismail Sarr and Banyan. So on the paper, yeah, we have the best team.
yeah.
But then again, we never won the AFCON.
Right. Which is crazy when you think about it, because you have so many great players coming through Senegal, man. Let's be real. Uh, but
Exactly.
all right, man. Let's wrap it up there, man. Again, thanks for always making time. It's kind of bittersweet. Sweet because we won the Champions League, but bitter because we have the AFCON to talk about. But it's feel kind of sad that there's not much to talk about Liverpool right now. Of course, if there's any transfers that come through, any signings we make, we'll jump back on and talk, guys. But you know, other than that,
Of
we'll
course,
have
of
some
course.
AFCON stuff. But other than that, yeah, we'll be looking forward to some of the summer transfers and then next season, of course. But we'll be back as soon as there's something to really chat about. Thanks again, Mame. Always making time. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. Thanks, man. This is like a big family, man.
That's right.
Liverpool,
That's right.
loving it.
Yep. So we'll
Loving
talk
it.
soon, man.
Of course, man. Take care of yourself. Thanks all you guys for tuning in,
Yes.
and talk to you soon.
Okay, buddy.